Hey everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Sunless Sea. Man, this game, where to begin? Well, first of all, I guess I'm back at the Iron Republic, as you can see. I did reload last time and fought the Behemoth Stash 2 more times, actually, which is why I'm relatively low on health. Although both of those fights went reasonably well. I mean, each one of them cost me around 100 health. There's just no avoiding taking damage from the thing. As far as I can tell, not with this ship anyway. I fought it twice because, well, the first time after reloading, I just tried that option of harvesting its mustache. And that turns out to be pretty profitable. It gave me 2 hunting trophies, 1 outlandish artifact, which is the mustache itself, I suppose. Some ivory, I want to say some fragments or something, I don't know, several things. But yeah, 2 trophies and an artifact and some resources. And that fight went pretty well, you know, as in I didn't lose a lot of hull, so I decided to just save that. It was also very close to port, so I just returned, saved, and reloaded to spawn another one. I killed that one. I also did try, actually I killed 3, I guess, in total. I tried the other option to just like dissect it or just look through its innards or something gross like that. And that gave me almost nothing. So very disappointing. Definitely don't pick that option. I think it gave me an unprepossessing mass and that's it. So I reloaded again and then, you know, did the thing that I originally did and sent the dying creature over to the Gant Pole at the cost of some terror, which, you know, I hope is going to do something good for me in the long run. And I suppose technically you could just do that, send the same type of creature multiple times. It doesn't specify that you can only send each one once. I did not try killing it another time after that and seeing if the option is still there. Probably should have done that just for, you know, curiosity's sake. But we're going to run into more creatures that we will want to kill, just because now we kind of can, even if it's going to cost us some hull. And to see what the options are that the game presents when we have successfully defeated them. Right. So that's one thing. I also made sure to just you know, bring a lot more supplies and fuel this time. That was just silly on my end. Obviously, I now have the whole capacity to do that kind of thing. So that's what I ended up doing. I just, you know, it cost me a lot of money, as you can see, several hundred to load up on this much fuel and food. But, well, we need it because I have decided to go with this ship for the time being. Now, that leads me to the really big thing. So I did a lot of research once again, descended into a proper rabbit hole, if you will, and I've come up with a plan, with an actual plan, not just, you know, go roughly there and see what's there. No, I actually have a bit of a goal now, several goals in fact, because, well, this game is complicated, and doing anything of any complexity requires a bunch of other things to consider, and I made a list. I took some notes. Because otherwise I would not be able to keep track of everything that I need to do. Even though, as it turns out, because I've already been doing a bunch of things, you know, quest-wise, I'm pretty close to completing the things that I need to do. And the thing is, so what I did first was I just Googled, good old Google, how viable are you know, heavy ships, or, well, I don't know exactly what I googled for. Anyway, but that was the gist of it. And well, people seem to generally think that yes, better ships, or, you know, heavier, more advanced ships are worth it. Yes, they require more resources to maintain, but you know, the advantages outweigh the disadvantages, I suppose. And there are ways to make them more viable. And the one thing, the biggest recommendation that I've seen several times is to get a particular engine that has a 50% fuel efficiency, which I suppose means that it uses only half the fuel that it would normally at the same engine power. It's also the most powerful engine just in terms of raw power in the game. The downside is that that is the thing that our tireless mechanic wants to make. And at this point, what feels like very early on in this playthrough, we obviously kind of finished this quest line except for the final step, pretty much, and explored much of it, which involved entering Frostfound and, you know, going through those insane trials that you either have to be extremely lucky to pass unscathed, or that will permanently cost you some attributes. I mean, we have plenty of attributes to spare for that kind of thing, so I'm not even worried about that. Plus, you know, I can save and reload if I need to. But the thing is, I did not even keep the thing that we got from Frostfound, because after that, the next step seemed just impossible at the time, right? And that was the first, possibly the one thing that I've been thinking of whenever I was thinking of you know, inventory limitations preventing me from doing certain things, because that step requires 40 units of Stygian ivory at one time, plus a couple of other items, plus of course fuel and supplies. So yeah, you need a ship with, you know, more than 40 hold capacity to be even physically able to do that. Not to mention actually acquiring a couple of those things. And one of the things you need, one of the individual items that you need for, well, making that super engine, is that element of dawn. And, well, I have seen that mentioned here and there. Of course, also on the wiki when looking up various other things. And I never looked into it in too much detail because it seemed like a very advanced thing, you know, like a super hard to come by item. And yes, it is kind of hard to come by, but there is one way. Actually, well, I think there are two ways to get it. One seems super complicated. I have no idea what a bunch of the things mentioned in the wiki even are. So, yeah, I don't think that's an option right now. However, the other option is to exchange a certain very powerful weapon for an element of dawn. And that very powerful weapon is both something that we're extremely close to getting, because that is the weapon that our irrepressible cannoneer wants to build. And for some reason I thought I was somehow far away from being able to do that, but it turns out that we're really not missing a whole lot for that at all. The most unfortunate part is that we're going to lose our Awakened Seal of the Red Signs, because, well, that's the key component to it. So we're missing out on those bonuses, I suppose. We're going to have to go back to a regular ship light, I suppose, but oh well. Also, the weapon is really good. However, it is a forward-mounted cannon, so with this ship, we can't even use it. So losing out on it by virtue of, or by way of trading it for an element of dawn isn't really that big of a downside if I'm planning to stick with this ship anyway, which I guess I kind of do, because why spend tens of thousands of echoes that I don't even have on another maybe technically better ship, well, maybe similar stats with an additional forward compartment, if I can just keep this one and be just fine, right? So we can acquire that cannon. It does not take a whole lot more than we already have. We are basically at the final step. All we need to do is deliver some more resources. Let's see here. Yeah, so it really, the only thing we need to acquire is a Searing Enigma. And I happen to know where we get one. In fact, I happen to know where you can get technically infinitely many, but they are kind of hard to come by. But we are going to be getting one, I think. I haven't tested any of this in practice yet, but in theory we should be getting one pretty soon, so that's good. Plus, and then it's going to take only 3 Devilbone dice, which unfortunately we're going to have to go to Mount Palmerston to acquire, but we also need something else from there, so that's fine. We're going to have to do a bunch of sailing around, but you know, that's just what this game is basically. And yes, but that's relatively trivial. That will give us the weapon, which again we can use ourselves, so might as well use it to trade for something, which we will do. We are going to have to return to Frostbound, of course, go through that whole gauntlet again, but, you know, it's going to work out fine in the end. The final step is going to cost us a little bit, but I think we should be fine in that regard as well. And yeah, then we're going to need, well, right, we're going to have the Element of Dawn. We're going to have the Mechanic Secret, which is the thing that you get from Frostbound. We need 1 casket of sapphires, which is really, I mean, we have 2 right now. I'm planning to use those though, so at one point we're going to have to make another trip to Port Carnelian to pick up another one of those, you know, big deal. That'll happen. We're going to be down in that area, that general area again. And we're kind of in the general area right now, and, you know, we're going to be back anyway, so I don't need to do that right now. Then we're going to have to pick up those 40 units of ivory. Yeah, Stygian ivory ingots or whatever. And there are a bunch of places to get those, all relatively cheap. You know, that's not the biggest issue. It's going to cost a few hundred, but oh well. And yeah, that's almost it, right? And then the only other thing that's missing is to go to the prison island in the Sea of Lilies, Wisdom, was it? And free that unsettling sage again, which I think at one point we did, and then I decided to reload and not do it because we didn't really need the guy, because I was not, at the time, just not planning to ever complete the mechanics quest. But, well, you need the guy. And so we're gonna have to do that again, like the prison break thing. And I guess I think I have options there. One option being paying up to 3,000 echoes to just buy the guy out of prison, ransom him out or whatever. Yeah, that's not what I'm planning to do though. I guess there is a very risky way to break him out with force, basically, and the one big downside being that it's always going to cost you some crew members, I think, which in our particular case is not actually a detriment, because I'm kind of planning to reduce my crew. Right, we can go all the way down to 16 and still move at full speed, and that is going to reduce our supply usage. I might want to maybe keep around 20 or so, just so I have a little bit of a buffer, you know, in case I lose someone in an unforeseen way. But we don't need a full compartment of crew, I think. Those are really just there as a resource, as far as I can tell. Maybe I'll look into it a little bit more. The thing is, I would like to reduce the number just so I don't use up quite as many supplies. The fuel situation should be improved by the engine. That's obviously that's the main reason that I'm going to go through all this trouble, apart from just experiencing those things. But yeah, anyway, prison break. And I think another option would be to acquire another Searing Enigma, which I could do, but I don't know of another guaranteed way to get one that's not going to cost me money. And yeah, so I think we could buy a Searing Enigma at Irem, which will cost us, I think, 5 extraordinary implications, which means we only need 2 more of these, and you can buy those there for money. So that wouldn't be the end of the world, but we would have to go to the end of the world, pretty much. Plus, well, if I can do it for free, that's better, because we're still gonna need a lot of money for all of our future expeditions. But hopefully, ultimately, once I'm done with this next big project, I guess, things are gonna be a little bit more efficient, at least. So, that's a lot of talking to start this episode again, but a lot more productively this time. I don't know, I feel better about this anyway. So yeah, that's the plan. I think that covers about everything. Now we are here. I did already pick up the hydrogen. Was it? Yes. Too bad that you only have the one container for it, I suppose, and so we still have to go multiple times. Even though now we have a bunch of cargo space, but oh well. we are going to compile a port report. Gained 1 pages? Oh, that's a thing that can happen. Heck yeah, I thought the best... Well, I suppose I must have known this at one point. That's awesome, actually. I thought you could only stand to either lose or not lose any of either pages or hearts, I think. It seems to be random which attribute it affects. But I forgot that you could actually gain some, so that's awesome. Yeah, and you seem to always get a Tale of Terror and a Memory of Distant Shores, which it turns out that we might need more Tales of Terror. I mean, yeah, more Tales, more of all the types of stories, but we're a bit low on Tales of Terror. I think we need those, or we can use more of those. Anyway, we definitely want to save this. Yeah, absolutely. That was super lucky. I'll check any free attribute increases because, well, we might actually be losing some attributes in the not-too-distant future. So we're going to save... I guess I might as well save over this one, because that's really all I did, and that's unquestionably a good thing. Now, timer shore... Okay, one thing is that in order to enter Frostbound, we'll have to get there with less than 20 terror. But I think that should be doable. I just have to keep that in mind. That's the one prerequisite, really. Right. Fun to Tittering Artificers project. Oh, right. I also happened to see what this is all about, and it's an interesting thing. It's a forward-mounted weapon with unusual characteristics. The game is, this is the understatement of the century, basically. The unusual characteristics of this weapon are that it fires a very specific type of ammunition, and only that ammunition. It deals ridiculous damage. It basically one-shots almost everything, almost any sea creature specifically. I think it deals 500 damage to living organisms. So that should be enough to, one-shot just about anything. However, the ammunition it uses is monster hunters. They're called something else. Something monster hunter. We could have acquired one of those guys, taken one of those guys aboard, in exchange for a hunting trophy? Was it just a hunting trophy, or was it more than that? Back at the Calinate, I think. So, those guys are ammo for this weapon. Which, technically I could make, but yeah, it's also forward mounted, so we can't even use it, even if I wanted to. So, yeah, that's it's interesting for sure, but not really an option for us. Anyway, Market of Hungers, Department of Flies. Yes, we want to do this, which does give us a terror, but that's fine. It does open up this shop, though. Right. And we can... Oh yeah, okay. So first of all, what kind of what kind of shop you get here is random, right? There is a certain selection of different shops that can be opened at any time. It's just based on some random variable. And we just happen to get one that's really useful for us. First of all, they have very cheap fuel. I don't know if no, actually, I suppose in this reality I have not made use of that. They have very cheap parabola linen. Again, I'm pretty sure they are 120 each in London. So that's kind of nuts. I'm going to buy 5 of them for a total of 6 to have some stuff crafted. We're going to get that out of the way right now, which is going to free up some more inventory. I'm also actually going to sell all of the Scintillate, because this is, I think at London it sells for 70, so this is slightly more profitable than that. Yeah, let's just do that right away. Recover my funds a little bit. Yeah, we're going to be getting more Scintillate for quote-unquote free for delivering more items to the principal. Some Scintillate is needed for a couple of different quests, so eventually I want to hold on to some of it. But yeah, we can acquire a bunch more free Scintillate, and I don't need any of it immediately, as far as I can tell. In before I forgot about something, but well, it should be fine. Right. And yeah, and once we've used up this parabola linen and the other ingredients that we have, or other components that we have on our hands currently, I think I might actually go ahead and buy a bunch more. Because it's so cheap here. Because there is this guy, right, in London, who we can give either 7 parabola linen or 7 outlandish artifacts to, and he's going to give us something in return. And I think he's just going to pay us. And the thing with parabola linen was that I believe it gives you exactly 700 echoes, which of course is comes at a loss, or ends up being a net loss when you buy the linen in London, because each one costs 120. However, since they only cost 57 here, that is actually going to make for a tidy profit, and I think I'm just going to fill up my hold with, the closest multiple of 7 of parabola linen that I can here, once I'm done using everything. And hopefully I will then be able to turn in all of those, and it's not going to end up being, I don't know, I'm not going to end up being locked out of that option somehow. But yeah, that could be profitable. But for now, we're going to speak to this lady and commission a new dress uniform, which is going to use up one of our 100 royal blue feathers. 3 of those. It's going to use up our comatose ferret. Sorry, little guy, but, you've not been useful. And how good is this? We'll see. Oh, okay, and we keep learning more about her. Right, so this is advancing something, I guess. The modiste goes to work. You only just avoid saluting your own reflection in the mirror. Such rich linen, expertly cut to every contour. The understated plumage, the fur collar. So, I know what you're thinking. A damn shame it couldn't have been Ermine. Ermine? The modiste nods, admiring her work. Come, Captain. Your public awaits. Okay, that gives you 1 pages. I keep expecting this to be more than just 1 stat increase, but, 1 point of stat increase. Oh, wait. Is she not going to make the final thing for us in the end? Well, we'll see. Check in on her? She's been in a foul mood since she finished her last commission. Maybe the option is gonna come back after we talk to her. Creative indifferences. Dresses hang in ribbons on makeshift dummies. Rags lie at the modiste's feet. No, this will not do, she hisses, slicing her latest creation. Mundane, uninspired, unfit even for dusters. She pauses, sensing your presence. In an instant, her smile is back on. She tucks a loose strand of hair back into position. Ah, Captain, a pleasure as always. I fear you find me in something of a creative temper. Would you perhaps indulge my little hobby? I have long fancied a little polythreme elan in my designs. Immortal fashion, huh? Sure? Oh. Okay. Well... Well, in that case... I was kind of hoping to use up a few more things from my hold. So if I can only make one of the 2, at least for now, I should make the other one. Because the uniform we just made used up, the ferret and the feather that don't even take up hold space. So, let's reload. This was after getting lucky and getting the point of pages. Listen. Yeah, okay, and then just all I did otherwise was just a bunch of talking, so we'll do this again. It should be all the same. We sold this. And I guess I'm only going to buy this. I'm going to buy more later, as I said, but for now, we're going to do this. I'm going to speak to her. Right, and we're going to make this. We're just going to free up 5 more spaces, which is nice. Protective armor. An iron boost is also useful, of course. So, it would be useful either way. Style over substance. The modiste closets herself away with the quartermaster and a few unlucky volunteers, experimenting until the ship's doctor threatens to leave in a lifeboat. What she presents may not be the most protective armor around, but it makes up for it in comfort and decoration. A handful of lingering bloodstains do not hurt its intimidation factor. Okay. 1 iron. Yep. And unfortunately, yeah, that also locks me out of the other option, at least for now. Now I don't know if the option is going to come back, or if I only had the option to ever make 2 out of the 3. Challenge Modiste to her favorite game. This will let you wager a secret for a risky chance to boost your veils up to 125. You may also have other reasons to fight the Modiste. I don't know if I ever tried this, even just for fun. I mean, I doubt it's gonna change anything about her creative indifferences. But either way, we're gonna keep this for now. Not new game. Manual save. Let's start a new one. As we do, maybe actually name it the correct thing. Okay. The real question is, do I pick up 3 extra parabola linen, hoping that we'll be able to make the 3rd dress, or the uniform, I guess, after returning to Polythrene, which is not really anywhere near any of the places that I'm planning to go anytime soon. So that's kind of inconvenient, to be honest. Maybe I'm not gonna worry about that. If it turns out that the option will become available eventually, or will become available again eventually, that's nice, and I can always acquire more linen, right? It's not really a huge deal. While we're here and while I have just saved, let's check out this option. I don't know if I've ever tried this, as I said. Knife and Candle. A game of cat and mouse. You smell her perfume just an instant too late. A gloved hand closes over your mouth, stifling your scream as a blade scrapes your bone. Something catches you as you fall to the deck, a softness behind the pain. Your head rests in folds of silk, a cool, tender caress. Shh, whispers the Modiste, cradling your head in her lap, tipping it back. Her knife slices playfully across your throat, just enough to leave its mark. Sleep, my captain, sleep. We shall play again soon enough, you and I. Okay, that's a wound, as expected. I lost a secret and gained nothing. Cool. And just to make sure... Nope. And we can try that at least one more time. Game of cat and mouse. Well, we lost again. And, well, we can try it again. And we lost, and now we're dead. Yeah, what a fun little game. Load. And... a knife in the dark. Ah. No, wait, this does sound familiar. An attempt on the lock to your cabin in the early hours. The lock defeats her. A curious cry in the cargo hold. You're not foolish enough to investigate. You bide your time. Wait. Wait under her bed. Until all of her attention is taken by a fine piece of stitching. Until her knife is out of reach. You strike. The Modiste falls limp. Okay. Huh? Assist the fall, Modiste. Wait, no, I've definitely not seen this. You have 1. Time to get her to the surgeon. Yikes. Finish her off, cut her open, take her heart? Excuse me? I mean... no? I mean, yes, obviously, just because I'm intrigued by why this is even an option. Obviously, I wouldn't want to keep playing with this, but just to see, yeah, obviously that removes her. A grisly prize. The Modiste's serrated blade slices effortlessly through her flesh, opening her chest. Yikes. Shatter her ribcage, force it open with your hands, straining as the bones yield and crack. I mean, she's kind of weird like that, but why do we do this? How fragile her heart feels between your fingers, even more fragile as you tear it from its cradle of fat and muscle. This is your trophy now. You have earned it. I suppose. Gained 10 terror, though, despite seemingly enjoying the process. You have one of this, the merciless Modiste Sard. Cool. It's not an attractive object. Perhaps you won't keep it in your mantelpiece. On your mantelpiece. Gained 1 Veils from this. Rumors of the Pirate Poet hasn't changed because it's lower than 5. What? Okay. Wait. It's lower than 5. So if it were 5 or higher, the Rumors of the Pirate Poet quality would have changed? Weird. Okay, well that's a thing apparently. Now of course I have to find out what happens when you spare her life. I guess you do get Veils and you do get to keep her. You don't get her heart. Not that I have any idea what you would do with it. Well, this is certainly weird, even for this game. Go. Just let me try again. Click, click. What? I clicked the wrong thing, I guess? Yeah, you have to scroll. Okay. Load. Don't save. Don't save now. That would be kind of bad. I know it's only a 25% chance, but still. Wait, no, that's still the wrong one. Load. There we go. Assist her. A close brush with the ferryman. The modiste slowly opens her bloodshot eyes. A deep smile spreads across her face. How refreshing, she croaks. You have bested me, my captain. Oh, to have had an opponent of your caliber in London. What rivals we could have been. Gained 1 Veils. And that's that. Risky indeed. Holy crap. And that's it. Of course, I did lose the first time around and got that wound. Yeah, this is not worth it, obviously. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna load and just forget any of this ever happened. Because it never has happened. Alright, now let's do the actual thing. Wait, what? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, that's annoying. Why does it not save the shop? And now it's a different market. If we do this, it costs us a terror. It's a different shop. I don't want coffee. Can we do something about this? No, we can't. Oh no, I didn't know that. That was not worth it. And of course now, well... if I reload to this one... yeah, we still have the Parliament of Flies available. So what did I not do? Well, first of all, we make that available. Oh boy, man. Boy, man. Oh boy, this game. Scintillac, right. We sell that. We get this. We speak to her. We make the protective armor to free up the most amount of inventory space possible. Get that. We talk to her, learn that she wants to go to Polythreme. We do not fight her. And now... and again, this is a gamble. This might not actually pay off. How much more can I? I can't pick up. 7 more. The only question is whether... Well, the thing is, I think I can sell these for 60 in London. The game tells you, helpfully... Yeah, 60 echo. So I will actually be able to sell these at a minimal profit either way. So that's good. That's good to know. So this is not a complete waste. It might not be profitable, but it might, at the very least, it's not gonna, always be a loss. And with any luck, I can actually trade these in or hand these over to the... I keep forgetting what his name is. This guy, the Venturer's Desire? The Venture, not Desire, the Venturer's Venture, right. Dream and a Scheme. Yeah, Venturer's Desire there. Find 7 outlandish artifacts or bales of parabola linen. Right, yeah, we'll see how many more times I'll be able to do this before something changes about the guy. There's the Unsettling Sage quest still there. Right, and the mechanics. Materials for the impeller. Right, it actually listed here. Yeah, Element of Dawn, Casket of Sapphires. So I guess I didn't technically need to take my own notes, but I took some additional notes as well. So that's fine. 40 units of Stygian Ivory, together with the Secret and the Sage. To King Eater's Castle, which we haven't been to, but it's... I'll find it eventually. That's the least of my problems, or the least of my concerns. Yeah, we're hopefully going to find a gift for the Pirate King very soon at the canal. At least that's how that's supposed to work. And it does not mention here anything about the weapon that we're going to assemble, but rack. Okay, anyway, yeah, it's not among the objectives. That's weird, but I guess that's just how it is. Take the seal to the Heart Metal Smith at Station 3. I mean, I want to say that we did that already. I'm just not sure why I determined that I couldn't or wouldn't do that, because it really doesn't take that much. So, I don't know. I'd have to rewatch whatever episode that was, like 20 episodes ago, or who knows how many, and what my reasoning was behind that. Maybe I just misunderstood something, or I don't know, maybe the option wasn't there for some reason. Whatever. We are ready to move on, I think. So, yeah, just making sure that we don't want to do anything else here. I mean, we can pick up 2 more units of fuel for very cheap, so we might as well. And, yeah, I guess we're save again. And depart up the coast towards London. Are those guys going to be a problem? I guess not. I could make myself a problem for them. Or I could not. Let's not waste time. Really? You know what, screw these guys. Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna... In order to maybe make a bit more actual progress this episode, because once again, I did not expect to take this long before I'd leave the Iron Republic. It's just crazy how this game goes. How my recordings of this game tend to go. I'll pause recording, make my way to the next place of interest, and we'll resume from there. Okay, and just like that, we are at the Cumian Canal staging area with no extra losses along the way. Thank you very much. And let's see. Oh. Well, this is a new option. We'll always produce a Claydary souvenir. If it succeeds, I suppose, but which is very likely. Okay, have the Claydary heir perform an urgent intervention. Of course, well, we kind of don't need this anymore, but I suppose the good news is that we will still be seeing these kinds of events and be able to experience them, as I was kind of hoping would be the case. Okay. A bandage-wrapped sailor is trying to gain passage to the surface. He must stop desiring it. The trip would kill him. Oh. Okay, may gain a crew member. I mean, I'm not interested in a crew member. In fact, I just don't have room for one, but thankfully the game still allows me to do it. QME unlocks no more than 0. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Bright Shining. You offer the sailor passage upward and direct him to the Cladry Air surgery. When he sees the operating table, he knows he has been tricked, but there is no fight in him. The Cladry Air extracts something from the sailor. It gleams with its own light. The sailor curses you for saving his life. Now there's nothing but sailing in the dark, he says, and I'll likely drown instead of burn. But for now, you'd better leave me on your crew. Have me on your crew, since you're the reason I still need a job and rations. Well, how's this gonna work, actually? How is this gonna work? Well, either way, we now have an additional Cladry souvenir, for what it's worth. And I guess how that works is just it doesn't. He actually disappears. Maybe we throw someone else overboard instead. Who knows? Doesn't care. Doesn't care, doesn't matter. Don't care. Gather information for a port report? I mean, sure. A gift for the Pirate King. That one looks like a surface sailor. Surely you could coax him into your ship. Oh. That's what we're gonna do? Like, capture an actual person to bring to the Pirate King? Sure. Everything for our king, I guess. I'm really not sure why we're trying to gain the Pirate King's favor anymore. I thought that that would somehow be necessary as part of our main quest, of our immortality quest, but apparently that only involved dealing with Isery themselves, and not the king. Oh. Obviously, that's still intriguing to do. Listen for surface gossip. Might as well, I guess. Gained a move in a great game. Okay, sure. Yeah, so since this can fail, obviously we're gonna take it, play it safe here. I could even go to the surface. Wait, wasn't it? Okay, so going to the surface is one of the ways experienced players use to actually make money in this game, right? I never really looked into that because at the time, I think the biggest issue was that you will almost certainly lose crew, right? But right now I'm kind of trying to lose crew, to reduce my crew. So if I could actually do this, and I can, yes, I'm missing 1 fuel exactly at this point, but I will, I can't just buy more fuel here, and that would allow me to go to the surface. Maybe I'll look into how exactly that worked and how you make the most profit out of this, because, I kind of want to build up my funds as much as I possibly can. Because, at least until we actually get that more efficient engine, things are going to be very expensive. And even after that, we're still going to be needing lots and lots of money. So, yeah, if I can get my hands on just a bunch of basically free echoes right here, while I just happen to be here, that seems like a good thing to do. And if it also reduces my crew, that would be honestly a nice side effect. Yeah, I know I've previously been adamant about not losing anyone unless I absolutely have to, but I can kind of justify things with, with the fact that these crew members came with the Cladry heart, right? They're not my people. I don't know them that well. I can live with sacrificing them or something. Yeah. Anyway, let's try this. I failed. Oh. Gain suspicion. Wait, what? Stillwater. Your smile must ring entirely false to the surface sailor, for he takes one look at you and takes off running. Good for him, I guess. You order your crew to give chase, but one of them slips, falls into the canal. Oh, right. Crew gone. Terror increased. Wonderful. You spend hours trying to dredge him up, but there is no sign. Yikes. Let's try that again. Guest rights. Okay. You can be charming when you exert yourself. You entice the surface sailor on board with promises of Z-stories and Neath delicacies and bludgeon them over the head between courses. They fall gently into a bowl of sea lily soup. You order your crew to take the prisoner below decks and lock them up. They comply quickly enough, but you see them shoot dark looks at each other out of the corner of your eye. Okay, it does still make me suspicious. I'm not sure why I'm doing this, but I'm sure it's gonna be useful somehow. Let's see here. Okay. Fresh from the surface, only a little bruised. Unfortunately, he's gonna take up one cargo space. Okay, anyway, let's... I suppose I could end the episode here and make it not excessively long for a change. Let me just quickly take a look at how this whole surface trading for profit thing works again. Okay, so, because I couldn't easily find anything, or the thing that I thought I was gonna be able to Google for, I'm pretty sure I read something about the profits to be made on the surface specifically, but anyway, I decided to just give it a go, and I was quickly reminded of just why the surface is so terrifying. Well, it's really the opposite of terrifying in terms of game mechanics, because you lose a ton of terror. We're sitting at 0 now. But you do lose crew, like left and right. And you can make profit here. I mean, as you can see, I've managed to get very lucky here. Because how this works, just to remind you, in case you forgot, because I sure had, you need a certain amount of fuel, mostly fuel. So you use up some supplies as well, but mostly fuel, to even get up to the surface and then to move around on the surface. And basically what you want to do, well, the really profitable thing is to fill up on empty mirror catch boxes, bring them to as many as you can carry, basically. You can buy them for 250 a piece, I think, in unlimited numbers. Get them here and fill them all up, and then you can sell them for at least 500 back down, which is obviously a huge profit. You're still going to lose crew, and it's still going to cost you a bunch of fuel and supplies, but still, that's extremely profitable. But obviously, I didn't prepare for that. I don't have the cargo space to hold those boxes and whatnot. So the other thing, the default thing that you can do on the surface, is to go to Naples. The trip to Naples costs you the 10 fuel initially, I think, to just go up to the surface through the canal, and then 1 more fuel to go to Naples itself. Yeah, I think. And you lose some crew on the way already. And when you're there, you then can do surface trading. Just trade around the Mediterranean. And what that does is it's a 60% chance to be lucky, I guess. I'm not sure why, if something influences that, if the default is 50-50, but there are slightly good chances, slightly good odds for this to be successful. And if it is, you gain exactly 500 echoes each time. You lose exactly 10 fuel. You lose between 1 and 3 crew. And I think you always lose 2 supplies, maybe sometimes only 1. And you gain some amount of fragments as well, as a nice bonus, I suppose. And if you're unlucky, you lose the exact same things, but you only gain 200 echoes, which is still just barely profitable. Well, actually, it kind of breaks even, probably, if you're planning to replenish your crew. Now, I've done this a couple of times, and of course the most annoying part is that you can't just reload when things go awry, because that's going to break things. You have to actually make your way all the way out, back to the Neath, I suppose, before you can reload, or else you won't be able to retry without restarting the game. I learned that the hard way, because literally the first trip to the surface, I got lucky like 5 or 6 times in a row, probably 5 times. I had slightly less money than I do now, and I figured, this is good enough for me. I was at, also around 20 crew, which is exactly where I wanted to be, basically. And I headed down, or I was gonna head down back to the Neath, and everything would have been just fine. Literally the first attempt. Except that for the trip back, you also need 10 fuel. And so I ended up using up exactly all of my fuel. I had 1 fuel left because I only bought 1. Right? This time I made sure to buy 2, which is also happened to be all that my hold could hold, so that I would be left with 1 extra fuel for the trip back. I didn't do that then because I didn't remember that was a thing, and so I actually just died on the way back down, I suppose. Just instant game over. And of course, every other attempt after that, I got unlucky a few times while doing the surface trade, or the Mediterranean trades, and thus I ended up with a lot less profit in the end, because you do need to buy 10 more fuel and potentially some supplies between, before you can try trading again. So I could do this one more time, but 20 crew is actually kind of perfect. I could go for one more, I suppose, and still be over 16, but chances are I'm not going to get lucky yet again, and this is already some pretty nice profit, even if you consider the losses of crew. Even if I were to restore those, replenish those back in London, I would still be making a tidy profit. So basically, you need to spend 150 echoes worth of fuel, because fuel is expensive up here, relatively expensive. So, you make, when you're successful, you make 350 echoes before anything else. So maybe more like 300 or so, but still pretty good. Anyway, so we have all the fuel we need to get back down to the Neath, and I'm also going to buy some supplies, because those are super cheap here. They're 5 echoes a piece. So we're going to get those for a total of 14, which is definitely enough to get us back to London. In fact, I think I can hold them. It's unfortunate that while you're up here, the game does not allow you to even check your hold. That's kind of stupid, but it's just how this overlay works, I suppose. So I'm just gonna hope that I can hold these extra supplies. Yeah, I could. Okay. And unless I'm very mistaken, we definitely have enough to get back. So that cost us 1. And yeah, the first time around that left me with exactly 10 fuel, which allowed me to return below. But if you have insufficient, you will be trapped here on the surface. And that's not exactly what happened. So really it should require you to have 11. Because if you do this with exactly 10, you just die. Which is kind of lame, But yeah, this should be fine. If we make it back to the Neath with a lot more money than we used to have. I mean, we had just under 5,000, right? So 1,500. Of course, this was pretty unlikely, a pretty unlikely series of events. I don't know how many times I had to get lucky in a row. I want to say like at least 6 times at 60% chance each. So it took me like, I think 5 tries total, 5 reloads. So really not that bad, but I guess I still got pretty lucky in the end for getting this as quickly as I did. I could have gone much more poorly, and I guess I would have accepted one, or getting unlucky with the trade once or twice, obviously cutting my profit a little bit, or quite considerably actually. But it worked out fine, so that's great. I need a bit more fuel than this. Let's go to 5 fuel. That should be enough to get back to London. A bit inefficient, but it's what it is. We still ended up with a lot more money than we used to. I feel quite a bit better about the immediate future for now. So that's great. Yeah, and we did lose our crew, but again, that's what I wanted. Supplies are looking fine. This did not update, but so we're at 523. That's okay. Technically, I have more room for parabola linen now, but that's, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not even sure if that's going to work out the way I, hope it might. We are going to save. I already saved once with a bit less overall profit, like 5,900, but I decided to go for one more, see if I could, do better than that, and I could, as it turns out. So, we're going to save over this one. And I guess we're gonna keep going from here, because next up is basically London, right? I mean, I could skip London and head straight up to Vanderbilt first to, take care of business up there. But I think it just makes sense to actually stop by London and see what I can do there. And that's gonna take some time. So I guess I'll end the episode right here. I hope it was somewhat interesting. I mean, nothing too particularly interesting happened, I suppose, but I think there are some pretty intriguing prospects for the future of this run, if nothing else. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to doing all those things and hopefully doing them in a somewhat efficient manner and not screwing up one of those several steps along the way, forcing me to, do a bunch of traveling around. We'll see how that goes. For the time being, I thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and I shall see you real soon. Bye-bye.